He argued with me and got angry and charged me straight to the Constitutional Court. Instead of correcting him, they went on. They ended up charging me. And I said, even in the apartheid days, that kind of judgment was never heard. We are in trouble. We are going to get into trouble. So please be aware. Do not allow this to happen in our country. We must stop it. I just wanted to convey this to all of you, that we are in trouble. Some of us are in more trouble than others, but it must not be allowed. Thank you. I'm greeting all of you in our beautiful country, South Africa. I thought it was necessary for me to talk to you today about some developments which I believe are painting a very serious picture to the behavior of our country's important broadcasting machines that we have in our country. I had an interview with the SABC on the 22nd, just 2 days ago, wherein they were seeking to have the views from me as a leader of the new party that has come in the country, Umkhonto weSizwe. I had to express myself in what I know as a democratic country, where there is a freedom of speech. And unfortunately, I've just heard that the SABC blocked that meeting we had with their publishers. This is something out of this world, because South Africa is a democratic country, freedom of speech, everything. But they've decided they cannot broadcast what Jacob Zuma has said. And I think I'm the only one so far that is being blocked by big broadcasting stations. I don't understand what is happening. I last heard this during the days, very hard days of apartheid, where many people were not allowed to speak. They were actually burned, not to say anything, not their views, politically in particular. This is surprising. Where is South Africa going? What is happening to our country? Why there are individuals whose views are not allowed to be known by the country, whilst others speak at any given time, whatever they want? This is shocking. This is in keeping with the behavior of our legal experts, in the manner in which they do make decisions that are very surprising. And as I have been speaking in few days with few stations, I realize that there is an uncomfortable feeling among other people. Why? Why shouldn't I express my views? Why shouldn't I tell the truth that I know? There is something shocking that South Africa is pulling back to apartheid methods and behavior. The whole SAPC says Zuma must not be heard in South Africa. Where must I be heard? This is my country. I belong here. This is surprising. But it is even more shocking that not only the SAPC, but the ENCA has done exactly the same on the interview I heard at Nkandla yesterday, which was the 23rd. Again, they blocked what I had given to the colleagues who were talking to me and asking me questions. Are we going back to apartheid country? What is happening in the country? The reason why I felt I should say something, because if it was just one kind of broadcasting station, I would have said maybe there was a mistake somewhere. But it is clear that all these big stations have come together to say Zuma must not be allowed to speak. Why? When we are getting into the elections, when we are supposed to express our views to the population of this country, when all political people are talking, are saying everything they want to say, and they are allowed to be heard. Why is Zuma not allowed to be heard on his views? In other words, whether it is the media or the judiciary in particular, they are waiting to ensure that Zuma's views must not be heard. Why? This reminds me of the days I joined the struggle, because there was such apartheid kind of decisions and behavior that many of us were not allowed to speak, not even allowed to vote. Now we're about to vote and campaigning. Now people are almost exercising the apartheid time, that people like Zuma are not allowed to be the president of the country. Why? What has he done? This is continuing in our own country. I wanted the people of this country to know that we seem to be getting back to apartheid behavior. We seem not to be indeed appreciating that we have a free country where people must express themselves freely, and the institutions that broadcast have the obligation to do so, not to stop others whilst giving even more time and everything to others. South Africa seems to be moving to a very serious situation. The problem is that if people stand up and say what you are doing, and because they've got no power to protest and do everything, they are going to be said, these are the people who are not respecting the country. But those who are actually having all the power to speak, to do everything, are given that one. I also heard that, in fact, the instructions came from the top. Why is this interference? I believe that as a country, we cannot keep quiet. And that's why I've decided to speak on this matter. I disagree with it. I think it is a difficult kind of thing to understand and to believe this was the South Africa with the democracy that everybody has been saying is number one democracy. is there democracy? Is there democracy that if you form a party and you do so because you are saying you are not happy about how the country is going? You want to put a better kind of South Africa, and you are being punished on the law that talks about if you have taken 2 terms, you are not allowed to come back to be the president. Me, I did not finish my 2 terms. There was interference. So that part of the law should not apply on me. That's one thing. But the second thing, I did all of that when I was a member of the African National Congress. I don't know what the law says if I establish my own party, a new party that has never been there before, and I say I want to lead that party to become the president and change the wrong things of this country. I don't know where is the law that says so, because I've never come across it, that if you come up with a new party, therefore you are a new kind of a president of a new party, but you're not allowed to do so. I don't understand. This seems to be getting worse to what used to happen before the freedom of South Africa. I think all of you should look into this. You should not ignore it, because it can take us very far. I have an experience why I'm talking. An experience that I went to prison when I have never had a trial. It has never happened in our country. It was the first. Precisely because I disagreed with what was being done by those who were given an opportunity to take decisions about things here, particularly from the legal system. They were angry, the judges took me to prison. I served 15 months. And who had put the case? It was the man who is in charge of the toughest part of our legal system in South Africa, the Constitutional Court. They were instructed by their chief, who was a chairperson of an institution that had been established to deal with the matters of corruption or whatever. I said I would not allow him to ask me questions, because he would not be good for that, because he would feel uncomfortable when we talk, me and him. And I thought he was not going to be the kind of a man who will do what he was supposed to do. He will be biased. He argued with me and got angry and charged me straight to the Constitutional Court. Instead of correcting him, they went on. They ended up charging me. And I said, I'm even in the apartheid days, that kind of judgment was never heard. We are in trouble. We are going to get into trouble. So please be aware. Do not allow this to happen in our country. We must stop it. I just wanted to convey this to all of you, that we are in trouble. Some of us are in more trouble than others, but it must not be allowed. Thank you very much to hear me for a short while. We are going to talk more about these matters. South Africa is becoming an apartheid country. choose between others and not others. Thank you.